I'm Himanshi Tiwari, and welcome to the Talent Mindset, hashtag Talent in Talks, where the evolving world of work takes center stage. The Economic Times and LinkedIn have joined forces to bring you this exclusive series of industry dialogues and fireside chats. Featuring top leadership voices, this series uncovers the latest trends, challenges, and opportunities shaping talent management for the future. Now, the tech revolution has sparked a seismic shift in how organizations operate, forcing workplace dynamics to transform from routine processes to innovative reforms. And now, today, agility and adaptability aren't just buzzwords, they are the foundation of modern talent management. And gone are the days when managing talent was straightforward. Now it's a complex, data driven function that juggles multi generational expectations, predicts attrition, identifies high potential employees, and strategically builds skills. As organizations move forward towards a future ready workforce, there's a shift in focus from job roles to skill sets. And it's no longer about what title you hold, it is about the skills you bring to the table. And in this journey toward a resilient future, talent is no longer just a resource, it's a conversation starter and a strategic business imperative. So for this episode, we are joined in by Krishna Kumar CS, Senior Vice President and CHRO at Essar Power. It's a pleasure to have you here on the show.
Thank you, Himanshi. Thank you. It's
We're
a
also
pleasure.
joined in by, thank you. We are also joined in by Jyoti Dadlani, Regional Head West India, LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Jyoti, pleasure to have you here as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I think, Mr. Krishna Kumar, the first I must say that it's a great journey. I think if I look at SR, the way it's evolved and the focus on renewable energy, sustainability, the commitment to, of course, we have net zero goals for India by 2070, but just all the businesses, how they're really looking at low carbon technologies, green skills, and I mean, even the green hydrogen plant. So I must congratulate you on how all the businesses have evolved towards that new age sustainability mantra. So keeping that in mind, what I wanted to start with that for a business like that to sustain, of course, talent is critical, and talent is an extremely important part of building that business up. So what does that talent mindset mean to you? In the context of SR, and how do you cultivate that? How do you cultivate that mindset to continue with what you're doing to drive growth, innovation for the business? So what does that mean to you?
I think traditionally we have been an organization who believed in the people. So the talent we will look forward is somebody who takes ownership of the work they want to do and be the master of your work and your workspace. I think that's the first thing for anyone to contribute into a system. And the freedom to express uh, and we take the leadership rather than being you follow somebody. So we allow that to happen with the people we get, and we also it's committing a mistake is not a sin, but learn from the mistake is what we teach them. I think that's the way we have come up across.
Any specific strategies that have helped with kind of keeping talent front and center for SR? Like anything over the years that you feel has evolved from the way you're looking at talent or the way you're sort of investing in talent? Have you seen any change?
I think we have evolved in terms of how the markets, how the people have seen if you look at our organization, we have people who are in the system for 35, 40 years to people who are in the system for the 3 to 6 months. So that means the age group can be from 22 to 60. So it's a vast, the huge gap of people. So you have all kind of generations who are actually working, and mindset for each of them is different. But I think the ability to maneuver this talent pool has been one of the biggest success we have had. So in terms of retaining, in terms of holding back people, so we have had enough success stories where the system have allowed people to grow in the system over the years. people who have come across, joined us as a graduate trainee. Today is a chief operating officer. So there are stories which are, live, which are successful for people to see. I think those are the ones which, that's more than enough for us to, show. And I think we have been able to attract talent. I don't think as a brand we are there in terms of attracting talent across the premium pool. I think that's been there. And see the way you can the journey is not confined to, since we are in a multi-sector conglomerate across
Yeah.
various geographies as well. So it also allows people to move across, different verticals and different sectors.
So I know the energy sector is evolving quite fast, and especially renewables and just green energy, the government focus, as well as how internationally, because you operate in different countries. Uh, so obviously that requires a diverse skill set. So how are you effectively? I know you said that it's been easy, but are there any strategies that have helped in attracting this talent pool? And is there any way or any data or insights that you're using that can help you kind of build that strategy or attract the right people? I know you have that good mix of different generations, but any strategies that have been successful to attract some of these people?
I think we also have. It's not that key. We had that entire talent pool in terms of an renewable space within our teams.
Yeah.
It would have been, so we have gone to the gone into the market, looked at people who have been in the space. So that's one way of looking at it, where we get the talent from externally, but get them into our and make them teach us and take the journey on the journey forward, because ultimately we are expecting them to create. So the creation part of it is what we are expecting for somebody who come into this from that space. And also uh, get the internal talent pool available along with them. So that means what, if I'm setting up the renewable space, maybe there are going to be experts and people who are successful in that space coming into our system, but
Yeah.
maybe there are people in the system available who are also been part of the journey with us in terms of the power sector or the energy sector, who can contribute into this. So that's the way we are trying to get this created.
One of the things we're hearing is that, as skills are evolving, we're seeing that there is, we're seeing energy companies really look through different industries and to attract talent. So, how are you looking at, because the demand and supply, as you said, might be quite different for some of these skills. So, what's the strategy from where you're attracting talent? Has that evolved or changed?
That also, you see, I'm saying maybe 5 years back, 10 years back, we would have only looked at somebody to come into a power company who was working in a power company.
Correct.
Today, that's not the way it is. So maybe we look at a function and say that, okay, the person has come and is able to deliver a function. Maybe that's we are looking. So maybe I'm looking at a talent pool which is slightly bigger.
Okay.
So it may not be only power sector. So and to a great extent, if you really look at it, if you look at a marketing side or a commercial side,
Yeah.
you look at a financing side. So you will have a lot of those talent pool available across multiple sectors. It may not be power, but the infra space is quite large. So you will have people who would have worked in that kind of space. I think
Correct.
that's the way we like to look at it. So you get a larger number of, that pool becomes like quite large.
And how does this change as you sort of look at, different regions? I see you mentioned UK, Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia, there are a bunch of different regions and cultures. So how does that impact the ability to hire or, look for relevant skill sets? So what are some of the things that work in international markets?
I think in the international market, I think what we have achieved over the period of time, what we have created and built. I think that certainly makes a difference in terms of and the way we have had people, and how we treat people, the story, the people's stories, and those are the things which work when we go into any market.
Yeah.
And what we do. So we do what we do in India, or what we do in UK, and what we do in Saudi, or what we do in Indonesia is, the base is the same. How we, that in terms of the people, how we manage them, and how we create value.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I'm just listening and I'm actually thinking that there seems to be a lot of focus on investing in people and their careers. So kudos to you on that. Are there any initiatives that you're thinking, from an employer branding perspective and maybe leveraging different platforms to really showcase some of this so that it becomes an easier way to attract talent? So is there any plan on using any platform to kind of elevate this so that it becomes an internal, so it becomes easier to sort of create this automated process of attracting talent? So are there any initiatives, anything that you're doing on, digital or social platforms that has helped, or is there a plan to do that?
So I think that we are present in the traditional media as well as the social media in terms of whether it is LinkedIn, whether it is Insta or Facebook. We do showcase what we do, what we achieve, and then but the changes we also showcase our people. There are times when we showcase our people, like the stories, people's stories. So
Yeah.
it's not every time we commissioned or we had something, but we also try to tell the stories of our people. I think that's a change, big change in terms of how we because the organization ultimately is made up of all those people who are part of the organization. So
Yeah.
the culture, everything is getting created out of those set of people. I think that's something. And then we also have undergone we do a lot of work in terms of the CSR space.
Okay.
So our people get involved, people who are part of the plan, or when we do certain things, they are part of those activities. I think these are things which get engaged. Then
Okay.
we, in particularly in the power ones, at the plant level, we call what we call as the engagement initiatives in terms of what we call it as power vitalizing elements. So we have certain programs which is a mix of team building, team structures, individual contributors. So all those in terms of recognizing them. So there are a robust reward and recognition program which runs that's also there. And then we also gone ahead and had a new intranet platform, which made us, because the traditional intranet platform had a limitation of, it's used to be a one-way kind of a thing. Now
Hmm.
today our platform is like, say, I can post my own, so it's more of a like a social media, but it's a internal focusing.
Okay.
So the showcasing need not go through a channel or a chain of things. Here I am able to actually post something, reach out to people, a set of people within the system. So we have got one of the new platforms in terms of the intranet. We have gone ahead with one of the partners.
Okay. I think if I look at it from a employer branding perspective, it sounds like unlocking stories and bringing some of the successful stories to life seems to be
And then,
what's
then, then
working.
we do also are present across multiple, when it's whether it is the CIA conference or whether it is a Vibrant Gujarat,
Okay.
where we showcase our products or our entities, and it is our people who are there to tell people who are doing that job. They are the ones who are creating those. So whether we are into so many of those things. So these are people who will and they become our brand ambassadors for the system.
Thank you for sharing. I think it's great to see, a company like yourself really building that community effect and seeing how you can use internal employees as brand ambassadors. Uh, the other thing I think we kind of agreed on that skills are changing at a fast pace. If I look at it, by 2030, on an average, every job would have changed by about 65 to 70%. And this is getting accelerated by AI. Skills are changing. And obviously, with the transition to green energy, they'll continue to change and new jobs will get created. So, uh, how are you kind of focusing on building an upskilling plan and investing in learning of your employees to be ready for this changing future?
Yeah, I think it's again a mixed bag for us in terms of we do have, I we do run a Essar Power Learning Center at our plant, which takes care of the technical, mostly technical, but we also have started with the behavioral and other learning process, which initially this was focused at the people who join us as fresh.
Okay.
But over a period of time, we have actually invested in people, to create a structure where we are using this as a platform for people to learn as well.
Okay.
the lateral part of it. So we have built up faculty consisting of people who are in the system. So there are, mentors and faculties who give those training. But I think that's like but then in those situations, what happens is the content and what is available becomes very limited. It may
Yeah.
not be so I can only teach what I know, but you might want to learn something beyond what I can offer. So that means we are looking at certainly, in the process of creating, looking at in the currently when we are talking, actually we are looking at certain amount of partnership with the learning content providers, which because traditionally what happens with the again here it's another challenge is a lot of those learning content typically are very biased in terms of very generic ones. It's all but you want to have specific inputs in terms of technical, in terms of a power plant, in terms of that part of it is missing mostly now. Yes, obviously things are changing in that, and I hope whatever we are looking forward comes in, because you cannot have the same set of learning across power, the oil and gas, or even in power, thermal versus
Yeah.
renewable. The learnings has to be different because the requirement of skill sets are going to be different, and it is different.
Yeah. No, I mean, you bring up an interesting point. You brought up technical skills as well as behavioral skills. So what's causing that focus on behavioral skills? I know that traditionally the industry looks a lot more at technical skills. So what's driving that change in terms of focusing on behavioral skills?
I think in the long run, see, the technical part is people. See, if somebody is studying engineering, somebody is studying CA. I think a lot of those learnings in terms of the subject part of it, they get through what they. But then when you come to a workplace, it is not limited to one or two people. You interact with hundreds of people, and the deliverables are not yours alone. It's not that everything is an individual contributor. So most of the things you will need another five, six set of people, six set of people. So where you can partner with people, where you see, you might have to become a leader in one project, you might have to become a follower in another project. So
Correct.
and that's a change you will have to, seamlessly you'll have to undergo. It cannot happen that I'm only being going to be part of a project if I'm the leader.
Yeah.
So I think that's a mindset.
Yeah.
How do you get that? It has to get inbuilt so that there is nothing which makes a difference to me whether I'm the leader or I'm the part of the team. It has to be the same.
Yeah.
So I think those, when you come to behavior, I think those are the things. And then in a workplace, in a factory environment, particularly, a lot of those structure in terms of the organizational structure, the hierarchies, it's very relevant. But is it the same 15 years back to now? It is not.
Yeah.
It would have been a very big hierarchical kind of a situation at a factory site. If you go back today, I think it is maybe less than 20% of what it was 15 years back.
Okay. No,
But
it's
maybe, yeah, because maybe the factory setting, maybe you need certain amount of hierarchies for deliveries to happen in a structured way, but not to the extent it was there in a earlier. So that means what? A lot of people who old timers are unlearning, and that's a unlearning has to be a part of your for new learning.
what is the perspective on AI? Is that something that you're seeing kind of being brought up as you think about upskilling, as you're thinking about the future? How are you seeing this pan out for your organization? Because of course, everybody is focused from a products and services perspective, or trying to be more efficient, or trying to be more productive. So I was curious to know what's your take on how AI is permeating within SR.
I think AI is not future. Actually, AI is present for us as well. But I think in a way, the generative part is going to be more valuable because it is not something which is only purely dependent on the AI part of it, where you coexist. See, ultimately, is it going to be like, I mean, I had this question of people, is it AI going to take over everything? No, it is not going to. Ultimately, the human interface, human touch is going to be there. But how we can create a better value proposition out of joining these two things together, I think that's a current, and I think that's the way it is going. It is
Yeah.
no more, AI replacing human or so your skill sets are changing. Obviously, skill sets are changing.
Yeah.
and you are learning. You need to learn. You need to change things, and we have done that. I think as humans, we have done across generations. We have learned. We have learned from new things. It has not made us, redundant or on anything. It's a skill set. We used to do certain things in a certain way, and from tomorrow we might do that in a different way. That's all it is going to happen, because our life is not going to undergo change because AI is in the
Yeah.
present.
But are you seeing an opportunity overall from an upskilling perspective within SR, from an AI perspective?
Yes, I think that is one of those fascinating things, because see, if like say you just take even a LinkedIn today, I might need some help in writing my CV in a certain way.
Yeah.
So I think there is that help coming in when you put in keywords. Now those are so even in learning, I think when you start getting into that, saying that maybe I don't know the exact thing which I want to learn, but I know I want something to learn out of in a particular thing. So will the AI part of it help in me identifying those ones? Because today it's not a Google part of it. It is more getting relating that to what data it is available in the system, and we create a program which will be helpful to you to upskill.
No, thank you for sharing. I think that's also what we are looking at, right? That people can focus on doing more productive work. A lot of AI can be used to kind of build in productivity in the system or try to be more efficient. So I think very well put that AI is something that's the present. Yes, the future of work's changing, but AI is the present. That's a brilliant perspective. So thank you so much for sharing. With that, I will hand over to you, Himanshi.
So, thank you for this insightful discussion. First of all, it was a pleasure for me to be a part of this discussion. And as we wrap up, it's clear that the future of work is evolving rapidly, and talent will continue to be the driving force behind organizational success. And in a world where skills are the new currency, the ability to adapt, innovate, and invest in people will determine which companies stay ahead. And as leader, like Sir said, it is up to us to foster environments where talent can thrive, where skills are nurtured, and where innovation isn't just encouraged but also expected. And to our audience, we hope these discussions have sparked new ideas and actionable strategies that will guide you in building a future ready workforce. Stay tuned for the next episode, and let's keep the dialogue going as we continue to navigate the ever changing talent landscape.